Hear that? Nothing? Me neither. But that's the perfect spot for your company's name to step into the spotlight. Become an underwriter for As You Mic It and let every episode be your curtain call. Slip a note to podcast@pashakespeare.org for more information.
But yeah, that was a moment of like, huh. Right. Should have saw that coming, maybe.
Forgot about the giant saw.
Yeah.
Hello, and welcome to As You Mic It, in the Spotlight, where we shine a light on the brilliance, boldness, and in some cases, the outrageous laughter behind the work. I'm Jason King-Jones, Artistic Director here at Pennsylvania Shakespeare Festival. Today, we're talking about The Producers. It's Mel Brooks' Tony Award-winning musical that dares to ask, what could possibly go wrong when two Broadway schemers try to produce a surefire flop? Spoiler alert, everything, and gloriously so. Connie will be speaking with Scott Greer and Mike Doherty, our Max and Leo, later in the episode. But first, director of The Producers. Welcome, Jen.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
Thank you for being here. Thanks for being on this campus. Thanks for being here in the studio. And by studio, I mean my office. Every time we say that this is a beautiful studio, we never actually say, like, we're actually just sitting in my office. But thanks again for being here.
Yeah.
We're recording this interview the day after we open The Producers. So, Jen, how are you feeling?
Exhausted.
Why? Why could you possibly feel exhausted?
I tell you, it's one of those things that you can know something going into a process, but until you're in the middle of it, it's the kind of enormity of this show.
Yeah.
Like, it's just such a train.
Yeah.
And it just keeps, like, there's just number after number after number, and you feel like, oh, certainly that's the apex. And then, nope, there's another step and another step and yet another step. And I've learned so much working on this. It's been a long time since I've done a musical of this size. And I've had a great time. I've had a really great time. It's such an amazing ensemble. It's such both the 20 people who are in the cast, the 6 people who are on the deck, the 6 people who are changing clothes, the 6 people who are shining spot, it's a really amazing group of people.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's awesome. And we really are grateful. We had a really great opening night, great audience. Just really grateful that you're here. Yeah. So this show is obviously, as we just said, it's a big show. Yeah. When I asked you to do this about a year ago, you were here directing the 1812 production of The Play That Goes Wrong. And I'd heard you actually speak about comedy and talk about the history of comedy. And I want to dig into that a little bit. I know that we have in a previous episode, but I'll probably circle back to that a little bit. I asked if you would be interested in The Producers. Did you know you were going to be covered in glitter and in Nazi signs when this was all over?
I had a pretty good idea. I didn't realize how much, but it's such a different experience to direct a big musical like this than it is a play. You know, all of the in some ways, your job as director is just to make sure the train doesn't go off the tracks. You know, and we talked about this early on when you asked me. It's like you don't want to, well, why don't we set the producers in, Venice in 1920, whatever. It's like, it is what it is. Yeah. And it's really just about honoring that and making sure it moves forward. And yes, there's ways of putting your stamp on it and that kind of thing. But I don't know, it was a really different experience. And especially everything is scored. Every scene change is scored. So you go, oh, I guess I have that many seconds to change the set, as opposed to, I'm just going to play some Mariah Carey while we change this and have my crew dance around as they, so it's been a learning experience too. So
right, and working with Chris Bucheri, our music director, I saw you in action, kind of go like, hey, can you vamp this a little bit, or can we do a reprise of the reprise here so that we can finish the way that we have to do this set change? Yeah.
No, it's been great. Chris is so open and so easy with everything. Yeah. And it has been a true back and forth. And with Tara Jean Valley, the choreographer, between the 3 of us, there was a lot of give and take. And it's a testament to all 3 of us, I think, that we all come from a place of like, look, the best idea in the room wins. And there's not ego. It's like, what's going to be best for the show? Yeah. And one of my favorite phrases always whenever I'm working with anybody is, okay, not this, but something like this. So if I offer something and it's not that, it's not a shutdown, it's like, no, But yes, but here's what we can do that accomplishes the same thing. And, there's one huge transition in the show between where we go from a rooftop with pigeons to Roger Debris' apartment, which is one of the most elaborate sets in the show, scenes in the show. Yeah. And in the music, because of course on Broadway, everything was automated. You pressed a button and things zoomed on and off, and they had a crew of 75 or something. But so there was literally, I think, like 10 seconds to go from one to another. And also, I don't like seeing shadows moving, and I'd rather see something.
Sure.
And so I talked with Chris, Robbie Hagar, who plays Carmen Gia. We decided we'd put a spotlight on him and have Carmen come in and kind of orchestrate the change. And we went back and forth about a number of different musical ideas, because we go, the music that is connected to Carmen is music that we haven't heard yet. It's Keep It Gay. And so we don't want to give that away.
Right.
So it's been a really great collaborative process.
That's awesome. That's really great. And I do want to talk about the casting and these individual roles in a second, but I did reference, some iconography that is required in this show and is also highly offensive.
Yes.
Not the only thing in the play that's highly offensive, but it is the apex moment. And that's the Nazi symbolism that because the musical that they choose is Springtime for Hitler, a gay romp.
Yes.
Adolf and Eva.
It's just an interesting time. You think about the fact that when the film was written was 67, and then the musical came out in
2000.
2000,
late 2000, early 2001.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And the world was a very different place.
We still had the Twin Towers standing, too.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah. And over the past however many years, there's been a resurgence of violence and this symbolism being used again.
Yeah.
And so it feels different. Yeah. And mostly what we did is we just acknowledged that in the room. I had conversations with all of the principals prior to start of rehearsal just to talk with them about that, what their feelings were. You kind of have to do it. You can't do the producers and go, we'll just make it Springtime for Mussolini. It'll be just a little bit like that. That'll work, right? It's as I think I said in one of the last episodes, Mel Brooks acknowledged that. And when he was first trying to shop the show around, nobody was biting. He said, look, the Holocaust was the worst thing in the world to happen in the 20th century. So what do I do? If I stand up and I, have a screed about it, it gets lost in the wind, or I can write something like Springtime for Hitler and nobody will ever forget it. Yeah. The thing is, he's also not making fun of the Holocaust. He's making fun of Hitler.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I looked at a lot of different designs as well that had been done over the years, and everything was really very much in the color scheme of the original. Yeah. And David Gordon, the set designer, and I made the decision to make our springtime set a little more pink than red.
A little more gay.
A little more gay. And in some ways, it's like, in some ways you lose the joke of having this really stark, the original colors of the Nazi regime, and then having Roger come out and being all of a sudden this maraschino cherry on top of it.
Yeah. But
in some ways the pink softens it. It makes fun of it immediately.
Yeah. And the satire is then in the design as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it does align with the story, right? Then when they go to Roger Debris, the theatrical director, and they sing a song that literally is keep it gay, keep it gay, keep it gay. And he has he has the brainstorm. He has that moment when he realizes how he will approach it. Yeah. One can definitely see that that's how Roger and his team would design it. Yes. So it actually feels very truthful to what that team would do.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about these principles. Mm-hmm. This is a show that definitely has a incredibly challenging track for our chorus, who plays so many different character roles and so many quick changes, and hence all the folks backstage doing so many of the changes. And then it has 6 principals. Yeah. You've got your Jameson Stern as Roger Debris, Robbie Hagar as Carmen Gia, Tony Lawton as Franz Liebkind, Nicole Benoit as Ula, with the longest beautiful name in the world. And then Scott Greer as Max Bialystock, and Michael Doherty as Leo.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the casting process? Can we
Yeah.
talk about why these particular people and how and what they have added to it? We can hold off on Mike and Scott for just a separate kind of couple. So let's talk about those other four folks.
Great. So when I was thinking about Roger Debris and Carmen Gia, the musical with Nathan Lane and Matthew Broderick is so iconic.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I had noticed having seen this show before is that there's a danger of just like trying to recreate what they did.
Yes.
And so it just becomes like a Xerox of a Xerox of a Xerox that after a while it's just kind of bland.
Mm-hmm.
And the danger of those two roles is just like the general wash of gayness, as opposed to people who are really specific and quirky and weird and eccentric.
Yes.
And that to me, even more than being gay, they are eccentrics. And so I was like, who do I know that can bring it vocally, but also who has that kind of like, it can tap into that eccentricity and the specifics of that.
Yeah.
Robbie Hagar, I have watched all over Philadelphia stages for a long time and just have been dying to work with him. And he's a weirdo in the best of all possible ways. And I say that is not anything that I don't say right to him. And that for me is a high compliment. And he came into it never having played the role. So his Carmen is not, he doesn't have any expectations. So it's completely new and completely, and so that was super exciting.
His physicality is incredible.
It is.
Was there a conversation about that? Or did he just say like, I've got an idea, let me try this?
There was a lot of spaghetti on the wall.
That is one way to do it creatively.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And I will say that some of the proposals he came in with have stayed, and some we've said, okay. There was a little moment where for a long time he was walking on his toes as if Carmen was wearing heels, but he wasn't wearing heels. That was like a thing. And so we decided, partially because it was just a little bit too out of the world, and partially because his calves hurt at the end of the day. He was like, okay, he'll be in flats. Robbie is one of those people that just brings like, here's a whole bunch of stuff. And then it's about editing.
Yeah.
And if given the opportunity, that first Carmen Gia scene would have been 45 minutes long. And someday we'll see that version. But yeah, he's amazing.
What about the wig for him? Was that a creative choice between the two of you? Was that just him?
No, that was Becky. That was Becky Callan, our costume coordinator. Was like, I found this wig, and he does look a little bit like the little Dutch boy. And I've been I go back and forth, but he and Jameson have found a way to work that wig in. And I can't imagine it any other way. It's so weird. It's so weird.
So weird. And perfect.
Yes, and perfect.
Okay, so we talked about Robbie then. So a little bit more about Jameson. As Roger Debris.
Yeah. So Jameson, he did Torch Song for my company. And then I wrote a panto for People's Light of Peter Pan, and he played Captain Hook and was just just chewed the scenery in all the ways. And so he was somebody that was like, oh, he could bring that. He's just also a really, really, really fine actor. And he's got such great command of the stage and the space, such great comic instincts.
Yes.
So I asked him if he would be interested. And he's played the role before, and he's also played Carmen Gia before. And this is an interesting thing, too. There's like half the cast, half the principals have done this show before, and half haven't. Yeah. So with Jameson, there were some things that he was able to bring from past performances that worked really well.
Right.
And I was like, great, let's not reinvent the wheel there.
Right.
And then other things where it was like, oh, with this particular Carmen or with this particular setup, we need to do it differently. And again, just everybody's flexibility has been really, really great with that.
He's an absolute pro and such command of the stage.
Totally. When he has his moment, his Roger Debris moment solo in Springtime for Hitler, he's doing just the most amazing Judy Garland impression one has ever seen. And it is, and apparently someone on the younger side was like, I love that funny voice you're doing. He's like, that is Judy Garland. So it's that kind of thing of not just like, I'm going to do a general wash of gayness, but Roger Debris would be a Judy Garland fan, and there's a little over the rainbow in the music, and like it's just
It's
so good.
The specificity really is.
Yeah.
If there's anybody who's listening who's like, why are you not telling me more details about this? I'm like, because we want you to come see the show.
Yes.
But it really just is such a fine performance.
Yeah,
And
it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous.
Speaking of gorgeous, one of the other principals is absolutely stunning, and that's Tony Lawton.
Yeah.
Just a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful man.
He is. That's a beautiful Nazi.
What's your history with Tony?
Oh my gosh. Tony keeps account on his phone of how many shows he's done with people that he's worked with for a long time. And I think this is his 28th show with Scott Greer.
Oh my God.
And it is our 15th together. So he and I have worked together a lot over the years. We've known each other for 30 years. And I think he can do anything. I think he can do anything. He's there hasn't been a thing that I have thrown at him that he hasn't like just risen to the occasion. And one of the big discoveries, I think, for both of us about Franz during this process, because Tony's got a big voice, he's really commanding.
Yeah.
And at first when he was doing it, I was like, wow, it's kind of unsettling and frightening. And he brought up Artie Johnson from Laugh-In. Artie Johnson would have it. And I was like, we were talking and we kind of both had the same aha moment of like, oh, Franz isn't the one that was giving the orders. Franz was taking the orders.
Right.
Like he's not a commander. He's a wannabe soldier. And that softened him a little and made his outbursts funny as opposed to frightening because he was somebody with no power.
Right.
Just like little Artie Johnson and Laugh-In, with his little Nazi helmet. It's been a real joy to watch that as well.
Good. Him and his pigeons.
Oh, I know. Those pigeons, shout out to Angel.
Yeah.
Those pigeon puppets are chef's kiss.
Yeah. And the audience just finds it delightful. Absolutely delightful. Okay. So we have a triple threat in this company, a true triple threat.
Oh my God.
Nicole Benoit. Nicole came in to audition for this.
Yeah.
Many of these people we made straight up offers to, or we negotiated with, but really it was like, we think that this person would be right for the role. We did hold auditions for Ula. And so can you talk about, working with Nicole, talk about the audition that we had with her?
Well, I think she had come into like an open call for you.
Yeah, that's right. She was at the EPAs. She was one of the first people that came in to audition for Ula. And I remember seeing her. I was just like, I love her.
Yeah.
I love her so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, and EPAs are the equity principal auditions
that's
that
right.
are required.
Yes.
We are required by the union to do those first before we hold any other auditions.
Yeah.
And shout out to equity for EPAs because here's an example that actually we found it totally worked. Yeah.
No, I think it's one of those things that she walked into the room and it was one of those like, that's that's our Ula.
That's our Ula.
And what I love about Nicole is not only is she is a true triple threat and she's like a magical creature. She's an athlete and she's a dancer and has been, she's been a swing for Chicago for a really long time. You see the skill. You just can see it. And
the precision.
Oh my gosh. But also sings, also super funny.
Yeah.
And what I love about her Ula is that it's quirky.
Yeah.
It's not I'm coming in here and I'm going to try to be sexy. I just am.
Yeah.
And I'm also a little bit kooky.
Yeah.
And that's really refreshing. It was funny. She said to me in my conversation with her prior to the start of rehearsals, she referenced one of the directions I'd given her in her audition. And it was like, oh, don't try to be sexy. You just are. These are just facts that you're not trying to, turn anybody on. You're just talking about this is who you are. And she said, I don't think I've ever been directed by a woman in this role. This is her third time doing it. And she said, and that was very different just in terms of like, oh, you don't have to try, you just are. So it's been a joy to work with her, a joy. And she's brought a lot of stuff from having done it twice before,
right,
that has worked in, and then some things that are new.
And she does have a history with, with her partner on stage, Michael Doherty, right?
Yeah, they did it at Bristol Riverside together. I don't know how many years ago.
Right. Well, so now that just let us turn our attention to Mike and Scott. Yeah. These two guys have to have such chemistry together. I was so taken by how how the musical really kind of becomes a story about the friendship that builds between Max and Leo. And that's the real heart of the play. And I was so enamored with that. I'm a sentimental person anyway, but I was so taken that this is really just a story about a friendship that grows and evolves. So can you talk about those two actors and how they work together in this?
Yeah. So Mike Joe was my student, gosh, however many years ago. I used to teach at the University of the Arts, and I've known Mike for 15 years, something like that.
So he was a student of yours.
He was a student of mine, yes. Wow. And I'm only 22. But yeah, we all are. And but also one of those magical creatures. Like, he is such a true clown and such a fine actor. And so he worked with me at 1812 at my company, and I've just watched him work. And he did the play that goes wrong in December back at 1812. One of the actors couldn't be in it, so Mike came in and filled in. And in that track, he and Scott worked really closely together. And just, they speak the same kind of clown comedy language. And you can't force that relationship. It just has to be there. And those two have to speak the same language and have the same kind of like understanding of comedy and the same curiosity about like how to build a moment. And I've watched them. There's a moment on stage where they first find Springtime for Hitler, and it's not a joke in the show. Like, it's not a laugh line. They read it, and they're just looking at the script. They read the title, and they're both looking at the script together, and they hold, and the audience is just shattered. And it's because they both go, don't force it, don't force it, don't force. And then they both know when to break out of it. And it's really, it's so much fun to watch true people who really understand comedy find those moments and crack that open.
Absolutely. I'm relatively, as you know, my time here in the Lehigh Valley and the Philly area is pretty recent, only 3 years. So I heard a lot about Scott, but got to see him last year in 1812 in the play that goes wrong. And then he also then played Falstaff for us last year. So I got some time to see Scott and to get to know Scott. And then I traveled to Utah Shakespeare Festival in the fall. And coincidentally, Mike was there on a contract, and I got to see him in some shows there, and so I got to actually see the clown. I also got to see him as a clown out of control. But I got to see the kind of genius that he has as an actor. So when you brought him up as a Leo, I was like, yes, absolutely. What I didn't know was just his set of pipes, just how strong of a singer and such a great tenor he is. So just watching them work together has just been so much fun.
No, it's just going to grow. It's just, I can't wait to see closing, when it's going to be in its fullness.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So Scott.
Yes. So Scott.
Okay. Scott is, first of all, he's your husband.
Yes.
You have to give notes to your husband.
Yeah.
Can you talk about what that's like to be able to collaborate in a director actor? There's often a power dynamic at play that is, the director ultimately has to make the call, has to make the decision. Sometimes tell an actor that what they're doing can't be done, or cut a moment, or push back. And then you have to also then walk away from the rehearsal room and maintain a marriage and raise a child. Talk about what this experience is like for you to kind of have that kind of a relationship.
I think that we are lucky in that we've been doing it a long time. This is not our first collaboration. Oh. And for me, one of the things that I measure is what needs to be talked about in the theater and then not talked about when we get back to our place.
Yeah.
What do we want to continue talking about? And if there are hard notes I have to give, I give those at the theater.
Yeah.
If there's what we call conversational dramaturgy, like we're having a beer or a glass of wine and we're talking about the show and getting excited, like that's fine to do at home.
Sure.
But we also are, we don't take it personally when we disagree with each other. We've made a lot of theater together. I've directed him a number of times. Ultimately, what is the knowledge of each other allows us to trust one another. Like I will watch him in his process sometimes, and there'll be times where I'm like, oh, why does he keep, it's this, but it's the same thing of like, why don't you take out the garbage? It's like, why do you keep crossing on that line when I tell you not to? But I know him well enough to know like this is his process, and it's going to be like that, and then then it's going to go and just come together, and he's going to bring it.
Sure.
And I think he trusts me to know, like, I don't understand what you're doing right now. Why are you doing that? Why are you making that choice? But I think he trusts that there's a vision there, and there's a there at the end of it.
Sure. I do want to go back to talking about the collaboration and talking about working with Tara Jean, because this show requires so much choreography, so much time with the ensemble and storytelling, physical storytelling through dance and movement. How did that collaboration evolve in the process? What kind of preparation did the two of you have, and then what was it like in the limited but concentrated rehearsal time?
Yeah. Each week was slightly different, and Tara Jean had done the show before, and that was a boon because there was an awful lot that she came in with, knowing what the structure was going to be, as opposed to having to kind of like invent it and discuss. I mean, that's one of the things that I talk about. Each one of us was encountering this play in a different way.
Yeah.
And for me, it was the first time. For her, it was the second time.
Yeah.
The first week, we worked almost exclusively apart because we were focusing on the first act. And there's so many really long book scenes and there's so many really big dance sequences. Yeah. And so she was really with the ensemble, really plowing through. And thank God that ensemble is so good at picking up steps so quickly.
Absolutely.
Really great. And I was almost exclusively working with the actors. And there would be times when we would come together and she was able to offer some movement finessing to some of the things that I had staged. I was able to offer some acting things to the dances that she had choreographed, but it was still pretty separate. And then the second week, there was more overlap, and we were finding our way together a little bit more. There were certain things that were not in, like in Roger Dupree's apartment, we have 2 living statues, which was not a part of the original, and I didn't feel like I didn't want to do the village people coming in at the end, but I was like something else eccentric, something else weird, and so these 2 living statues, and so that, like figuring out what that movement language was, and that was a real collaboration of what about this? Yes, Aunt, and that sort of thing. It was really great. Her work is extraordinary. I mean, I'm like, my jaw's on the ground, always. And, she's got this ensemble of dancers who picks up things very quickly, and Nicole Benoit, who's like, what a dream for a choreographer to work with. And then she's got my husband, who's like, look, I'll get it eventually. So her patience was also appreciated.
That's wonderful. My last question before we turn over to our conversation with Scott and with Mike is about how this production is unlike any other production of the producers, if people have seen it before. Yeah. What makes this one, besides this brilliant cast that we've been talking about? You referenced there's like living statues. There's some differences to this production.
Yeah. David Gordon, who designed the set, I think the set design really kind of broke things open and allowed us to think about things in a different way. If this had been a really conventional, like, we've got big wagons that we can bring on with the office, we've got automation and things like that, which we don't have. Stripping some of that away really allowed us to go, oh, okay, if we don't have a big, huge set for Roger's apartment, what else can we put in there? If we don't have this big pigeon coop, like usually the pigeons, they don't move. They're in a box, and they kind of just, one wing goes up and they sort of jump up and down, but you don't see the operators. Yeah. Wow, if we have this big open space, what possibilities are there for us? Right. I hope that there are moments like that feel really delightful and new.
Well, they certainly feel delightful and new from my vantage point,
Yeah.
having watched what you were able to put together. Jen, I really appreciate you being here. Second year in a row collaborating and being a part of this really feels like you're just a special part of this community, and we're just really grateful for having you here. And thanks for helping shepherd this beautiful production and hilarious and heartfelt production to our stage.
Thank you. I'm having a great time.
Thanks, Jen.
Thanks.
Prepare yourself for some drama. Experience the thrill of live professional theater right here in the Lehigh Valley with the Pennsylvania Shakespeare Festival's thrilling summer theater series. Don't miss it. Tickets on sale at pashakespeare.org.
We're back with our spotlight on the producers, and I have the lucky pleasure of sitting with the comic powerhouse duo at the delicious, gooey center of all of this chaos, Scott Greer and Michael Doherty, who play Max and Leo, respectively. Welcome so much to As You Mic It.
Great to be here. It's good to be here. Love the pun. This is a treat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I credit Jason for all of that.
Excellent.
Yeah, I really was pushing for a Midsummer Night's Dream.
Oh, wow.
That's good.
Oh, very
That's
good too. Yeah.
Thank
yeah.
you.
You should have the parenthetical as the play has as you mic it, or what you will with two L's.
Oh,
A
man.
visual pun.
I like
pun
it.
Nonetheless.
Oh,
I like
man.
it.
I'm
There's
getting
only so
clammy.
much that fits in that tiny little square.
Indeed,
so,
indeed, yes.
if it doesn't fit in there, so As You Mic It won out. But I'm going to keep that in mind for next season.
That's for free.
Yeah.
Yeah. The next one's going to cost me.
Yeah.
Scott, you are becoming a very familiar face here at PSF. Yeah. So what's it like to return here with the producers?
It's great. This is the first time. This is the fifth time I've worked at the festival since 2009 was my first time, but this is the first time that I've come back to back, and I love it here. It's great. It's summer camp, It's and it's a lot of familiar faces and a lot of actors and designers and artists from the Philadelphia community that I've known for 30 years. And so like it is like a great big grown up summer camp. So it's great. And the audiences are all repeat offenders, you know what I mean? And so there's a real following, and it's great to go to a place like this that has a following, that had there's nothing else around. So it's very much a destination. And so you feel that here. You feel like, oh, they've come from a ways to be here. And this is like their summer tradition of coming out here and sitting on the lawn and having a glass of wine and listening to the musicians. And it's great.
And Mike,
Yeah.
you know a lot of folks here already.
Yeah.
But this is your first time with the festival?
That's right. Yeah. I lived in Philly for like 15 years, so I always was adjacent to PSF. I saw two gents. Like,
Oh, my God.
Was that like
2014.
100 years ago? Yeah. In the before times.
Yeah.
And, and I had so many pals who've worked here. Even just visiting then, I loved the vibe. Just like sitting outside in lawn chairs, like being part of the culture of it was really charming and delightful to me. And the work has always like had this excellence to it, and it's really cool to finally be here.
Yeah.
It's great to have this sort of family environment where everybody's kind of coming home every summer.
Yeah. And I've been on the road gigging for a while, but this is the first time I've been around so many people that I've known for like over a decade. So it's a little bit of a homecoming too, and it's really
It's also
good
very
vibes.
cool that there are multiple casts and multiple,
Yeah.
and like there are, three different plays and sometimes that are here at the same time.
Yeah.
And it's, that's very cool. And
Yeah.
kind of like a new group arrives or a new group of old friends arrive.
Yeah,
and
totally.
it's really neat.
Yeah, and there's the mix of the old and the new. Like a lot of these producers folks are New Yorkers, their first time at PSF, and just the way how quickly things can come together and friendships get made and that like vibes just get curated to like a really fun level. It's always very impressive to me how quickly it all happens,
Indeed. One of the things that I want to make sure that we talk about a little bit is you are actually coming home to the Lehigh Valley.
Mm-hmm.
You grew up here.
Yes. I grew up in East Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. Yeah. I know so many like old teachers and friends who I haven't seen in a while who will be seeing me like for the first time in my professional career.
Oh my gosh,
yeah, which
that's
is wild.
amazing.
Yeah, they're all very excited. I remember bringing it up, and there's like, he's coming home.
It's so cool. It's the closest I've ever been. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, well, thank you for making your debut on the PSF stage this season.
What a
with us.
treat. What a way to do it.
Right. Well, it's a treat for us because the two of you have been just outstanding. It's been so much fun watching. It's just been absolutely remarkable. It's just magical. So thank you so much for that. You know, from the moment that your characters meet on stage, there's a real honesty to the relationship that Max and Leo have, really anchors the entire production.
Well, we've been friends for years. I
Yeah.
mean, we've worked other than La Bette and Play That Goes Wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Have we done anything else? I don't know that we've been in another play
I
together,
guess
but,
not.
like, we've known
but
each
we've
other
known
for-
each other. Yeah. For
Probably since you were like just out of
yeah,
school.
like 2011, probably.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that's because Jen cast you in the rep project
Yes.
for 1812.
Yeah.
Jen Childs, who directed this production, and so yeah, and I'm friends with your good friends, and like,
Yeah.
like we're we were friends for years before the first time we worked together.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so yeah, we don't have to manufacture any of that.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
It's a genuine treat to go up there with your buddy every night.
Yeah.
and mess around and have fun.
Yeah,
you know?
and even before that, Scotty, I came to Philly for college, UArts, RIP, back in 2006. The first two things I saw were a production of Red Light Winter, starring Ian Peaks and Matt Pfeiffer, followed by the production of Assassins that you did.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And those were the shows that convinced me to stay in Philly and be a local actor. So really, there is that sense like nervous Leo who is like amazed to be meeting Max Bialystock. Like I felt that at like a time within our own lives. So like, and then to have the friendship with you, it's like everything that happens in 3 hours in this show, like kind of that's happened in our lives.
That's amazing.
Right?
That's amazing.
Oh my gosh. Well, some people tell me, now I don't have this difficulty, but some people tell me that comedy is hard. Is that true? I mean, I find it to be just effortless.
Explain that. How is it? How do you find it to be?
No, I'm being sarcastic. I have
Comedy is unforgiving.
Yeah. It's pass fail.
Yeah.
You get a laugh or you don't.
Yes.
And there are many styles and sort of languages. You kind of have to teach the audience what kind of joke they're hearing.
Yeah.
And there's but it requires tremendous precision and no matter what it is, it has to have some kind of truth underneath it.
Right.
And it is hard. Not everybody can do it. And it's it's endlessly fascinating and addicting to me to sort of like to try to parse out, how to get the audience to laugh. And like coming back and like they didn't laugh at that.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
happened? Is it because I moved one beat too early,
Right.
or or they're just tired? But
Right. It has nothing to do with it. Yeah, because it's this balancing act, right? And it's always a tension between two opposites. And I feel like in comedy and especially in musical theater, that tension is between precision, like you're saying, and the organic thing.
Yeah.
And like
and
turning that
the
dial.
score sometimes.
Yeah,
And,
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's all.
Yeah, these things that we have to get exactly right, hit your mark, and then also make it seem like a genuine reaction to something. So I feel like that dial between like, does this seem real enough to be plausible that we're actually going on the emotional journey? And like, was I facing out? Was I on 2 instead of 4, like on the stage markings? Like those kinds of details. They feel a little contradictory at times.
Yeah, for sure.
it really does not look like you have all of those technical machinations running around in your head at all. It really does look effortless.
That's great.
There are certain motions where it's literally like, okay, he says the line, you turn your head.
Yep.
he turns his head, you turn your head. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it gets down to that kind of nitty gritty.
Yeah.
And then you have to make it not look mechanical.
Yeah.
And like I turned my head because I wanted to ask you a question, then I reconsidered and turned away. And that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
All of these things. Like it has to be motivated and real, but very precise. And we're like, no, the other way was better.
Yeah,
No,
totally.
Like,
And this reminded me of a conversation I was having with Rachel Camp when she was doing Penelope, which is like we have our roadmap, right, of our like choices that and some of them, most of it is what we do every time, and sometimes there's new discoveries when you're doing it. But Rachel had such a specific roadmap for Penelope, like every micro moment was planned and made to feel organic, and this feels again closer to that because again it's set to underscore. It's the lines are written with zero fat. It is so lean,
and also a particular rhythm, particularly for Max. And there's there is that like vaudevillian Yiddish theater underneath all of Mel Brooks' stuff.
Yes, exactly. That you can't betray.
That you have to honor. And that's a very big part of it too.
Well, there's a lot in Mel Brooks's material where it is really ridiculous and really sort of overwhelming. I mean, and even the physical comedy that the two of you are doing, there's that moment where you're just like with your whoopee and holding on to it for dear life.
Yes.
I'm watching this and I'm kind of wondering, how do you guys just not laugh at each other?
We did quite a bit.
We did, yeah. You did get it out of your system.
Yeah. And there's certain parts like we were the audition scene.
Yeah, I know.
The audition scene we didn't see until they had staged it. We were the last part of it
because we just sit there the whole time.
Right, we don't have any lines, and so watching what each of the guys do, Adam, Robert, and Glenn it's
magnificent,
so funny. And Glenn, it's still a struggle not to laugh.
It really is. Like
it's I was
laughing
time.
every rehearsal up until opening.
Yeah. And it was just, oh God, it's so funny.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, do you have any idea what's happening on stage? Because I have to admit, when I'm watching this, sometimes I don't know where to look because there's a real generosity in the staging and the comedy for letting other people really share these moments. There's really funny things happening everywhere.
Jen, who has just a deep and abiding passion and knowledge of comedy. She calls herself a comedy nerd. Mm-hmm. And a big part of what she does in directing comedies is directing the audience attention, so that and so you're being directed. If you're looking at something, it's because Jen wanted you to, or Tara Jean wanted you to, the choreographer.
Yeah.
But that's a big part of it. Is if somebody is doing something over here and you look away, you miss what what the punchline might be, or and so like. That is very curated. Your gaze is and then when it's something like Springtime for Hitler, where it's this spectacle and it's all hilarious and wild, and everywhere you look, someone's got a sausage on their head, or someone that like there's that too. Mm-hmm. But in the scenes, it's sort of distilled down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jerry Zaks has this quote about directing it that's like, how do you do a close up on stage? Mm-hmm. Stillness, and there's that element to the chaos, and other moments where it's like you're watching 20 old ladies dance, and you can really look at any of them at any time and like get the story. And so like it's where does your eye go is kind of up to you. It's a little choose your own adventure.
Tara Jean and Jen, and this is I think the producers is it's different in so many ways. It's the same in that it's the same structure and spectacle as like 1930s musicals.
Yeah.
But it also asks of the ensemble a real level up in terms of they have to be funny.
Yeah.
They have to be actors in a way that chorus people aren't often asked to be. Mm-hmm. Not just in the little highlighted scenes, but like, each of those old ladies is a specific character, and Tara Jean and Jen worked with each dancer to come up with her own little old lady persona. Yeah. And they're living out, and so like they're playing characters. It's not just the choreography, which is dazzling, but it's not just smile and like it's very specific. And so,
tell a story.
Like you say, no matter what old lady you look at, there's a richness and a fullness on top of the extraordinary spectacle of their skill. I mean,
Yeah.
the ensemble is, I've never worked with a more incredible group.
Oh my gosh, they're so talented.
They're so talented, and they're so generous and positive and supportive, and they love each other. We all like it. I mean, like it did. After like 3 days, it felt like we'd been together for months.
Yeah,
like it was, a great group that bonded very quickly. But they are just jaw dropping.
Yeah, and I feel similarly about the design elements, like getting to sit outside of the show to like watch Springtime in rehearsals, seeing these production photos, like the way these lighting boxes operate, like
really cool.
The set and lighting design. I mean, it is the costume orchestration. It is the pit, like it is dazzling to step outside of for a moment and witness. So it's a really cool thing to realize how supported we are.
Oh yeah.
It's like wow, we really don't have to do much. Do we? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We were talking about how much this show asks of every department. There are a jillion costumes, a jillion wigs, a jillion lighting cues, and it asks everyone to really be at the top of their game. And when you ask really skilled artists to be at their best, the result is greater than the sum of its parts, which is already a staggering figure. You know what I mean? Like it is relentless in a way.
Yeah.
You know, I've had so many people who've seen it just over the weekend who are like, that is I can't believe you did that. I can't believe you do that.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, you'd get a lot of that. Like, you do that twice in one day?
Totally.
I heard that from my mother-in-law. She's like, I don't know how they're going to do this. This is ridiculous. You're asking too much of them to do it more than once.
I'll be candid with you. Before we did it, I had the same question. Yeah. I was like, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you do marathon training before you got here?
I should have.
Well, I was thinking about it. There's these huge set pieces, as you brought up, between the office scenes and the jailhouse confessionals. There's these just iconic moments that we get to experience, and the sets are just another character in here.
Well, the light boxes. David Gordon is an extraordinary artist, and he's also, I mean, he works all over the world, and but does a lot of stuff in Philadelphia. And I mean, I think the first play I did with him was like 30 years ago, something like that. Like, but his stuff is always elegant and stunning, and like Mike said, supportive. Like it, but he has a real, like, he loves forced perspective, and I love the way the light boxes kind of look like they're moving almost, and because it's forced, like your eye is drawn from the edges of the stage to up center, that like, and it's, they're magical because they just sort of seem to float in the air because they're on black cables, and so when they're lit up, they're just there, and like floating in the air, and they are architectural, and the inspiration I happen to know was Jen and David were talking, and there was an ad, like a 60s ad for Pan Am or something, but it was a very stylized rendering of Times Square, and it was a lot of colored squares like this, and kind of like, and that was the inspiration, and it's magical. Like, it's just so cool.
And the amount of configurations that Mike Inwood has come up with is why it's amazing how much a vibe can shift by like a different pattern.
You're
up
right,
on
all
there.
white and then all red, and all that, or like a mixture of two, and then you go to Roger's house and it's pink and orange, and you go, and like it's really. It's really great.
I really like Roger's house. I could live in there for a while. And without doing any spoilers, there is an element in our production that is not in the original Broadway staging that is one of the funniest things to me, and thankfully to our audiences.
Yes.
It's really
a big payoff, and it's an ingenious idea.
It really is. Do you know whose idea that was? Was that a Jen idea?
I think so.
Okay,
I think
that's incredible.
I think but Jen and Tara Jean definitely were collaborators for sure.
I love that.
I think I know what you're talking about.
That's
just I was hooting. I wasn't expecting that. I try and go in very cold when I go into the, when I go to opening night, I try and I'll peek my head in during rehearsals, but I don't try and be there as a part of it. I just really want to just experience that moment for the first time as an audience member. And I was not expecting that. And again, for our listeners, we're not going to spoil anything, but man, you will know exactly what we're talking about when you see that. Yeah. There's no question mark.
But
You're like,
It also feels like if I had not seen the show and you told me that was it in the original production, I would have, it is absolutely of the world.
Exactly.
Of this play
right.
And of Roger. Like it is a perfect extension of the values of Roger Debris.
I could not agree more. Yeah.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, it really is.
Without spoiling anything, are there any moments that you're excited for the audiences to discover?
Gosh, so many. The little old ladies with the walkers is you can't believe your eyes.
Yeah. Every time I watch it from off stage, I'm dazzled. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like the audience. It's so like Mel Brooks. It's so this kind of over the top silly idea, but that really goes for it. And like I if you're seeing it for the first time and you're like, they're not going to do an entire tap number just using their walkers, and they do. And it's like inspired.
Yeah.
Really good.
Something that was striking me over opening weekend was just the prescience of the larger message of the thing, and that like when we're on Franz Liebkin's rooftop,
right,
and we're doing this thing because we are two producers who will do anything to achieve our goal, and like compromising our morals, like to get that, like that. Being so familiar with the story, like realizing like how unbelievably shocking it is, and feeling people feel that, helps like our journey.
Max is just as shocked, but overcomes it more quickly.
Exactly.
Is able to kind of like, all right.
Yeah, I know.
But
and like, because people in the audience are Leo. Right, like they're like Jesus, I can't.
No. The first audience, that was a fantastic moment, but like it was something that I didn't expect.
Yeah.
Franz hands out Nazi armbands and asks us to wear them while we take the sacred Siegfried oath.
Yeah.
And the audience is like, oh no! And when they were putting them, they're like, oh my god!
Yeah.
And they're like, this is wild.
Yeah, it goes somewhere that's actually pearl clutching.
Yeah.
Even though the original movie was how many decades ago?
67.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Gosh.
It definitely feels different when you're in the theater than when you're watching it, on a screen, because you had us drawn in, and so we care about you, and now you're in this situation where you have to put on these armbands. It is pearl clutching. We're watching it like, no, or they no,
It's also very funny and outrageous, in the context of what we're doing, and then. Next we go to Roger's house and we forget we have them on, and Carmen is like, may I take your coat, your hat, and your swastikas? And we're like, and that gets a huge laugh, because it's it's insane,
Oh my gosh, Robbie is a riot.
Robbie's incredible.
Hagar.
We're obsessed with him.
He is just a remarkable clown.
Yeah, he really is. And he really captures that thing we were talking about, that like he has this ability to play style in a really strong, clear way, and
it's organic,
be incredibly human. Yeah. It is.
Yeah, like that impressive guy. It's everything about him is bizarre.
It's absurd
and utterly charming.
Yeah,
but also you believe that
1,000% real. Yeah, you exist in the world.
He walks that way.
Yeah. Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything else that you want to tell our audiences?
There's just no other musical like this. To have something that has heart.
Yeah.
To have something that has satire, which is more relevant than ever, but also has spectacle and like you are dazzled, you are moved, you are made to laugh very, very hard. That doesn't exist really. It's impossible to pull all of these things off, and the producers does.
Yeah.
Gangbusters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. To shout out the other principals too, like you've got Nicole Benoit as Ula. We did this play together 7 years ago, me and Nicole at Bristol Riverside Theater, and she's as amazing as ever in her, like, dare I say, alien ability to
she's a prima ballerina.
Yeah.
Like she's an absolute athlete. And what she can do with her body is its own spectacle.
Yeah.
It's just like she just literally kicked her foot straight up in the air whilst, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Do that and sing in the stratosphere and be a dynamite clown that can land a punchline. It's like, it is
funny.
Unicorn level unique.
Yeah.
And just a really gracious, generous, supportive scene partner and dancing partner.
Tony is one of the funniest actors
Tony is
alive.
unbelievable. It's a perfect marriage of actor and role.
Right, he plays Franz.
Yeah.
And then Jameson
Stern
is an absolute beast. Jameson Stern, and again, like, this is the nexus of the satire and the spectacle.
Yes,
and
it really hinges on Roger. Yeah.
Yes, it really does. Like, the center of the play, when all of these sort of elements come together, and the lyrics are so good. Heil myself. Heil to me. I'm the kraut who's out to change our history.
Yeah.
And he's this over-the-top, flamboyantly gay Hitler, and he's the German Ethel Merman, as the song says, and he just rips the roof down every night. It's incredible. This is also hard to pull off. There are like 3 curtain calls in the show. There's a curtain call within Act 2, and it's not the end of the show. And it's still a curtain call. People go nuts. It's wild.
Yeah. And it requires him and everyone in this show to be aware of the larger thing they exist within, the references it's making, and the satire of the thing, and fully live in it truthfully, and not give anything away, not show your cards.
Which he does. He's incredible. He's absolutely incredible.
Yeah, it's a treat. It's a privilege. It really is.
It really is.
Yeah.
Like there's no weak link anywhere.
No.
Like, it is like wall to wall. Entertaining and astonishing,
and we have 2 fabulous swings who are there every day.
Unbelievable.
They're doing the dances backstage. Bella's going on this week on Wednesday, and they're just working their butts off. No one has an easy job. Our wig department, our wardrobe department, our crew is like a pit crew backstage. They're all, so much is being asked of them. They're rising to the occasion so incredibly. It's amazing.
Amazing. Scott Greer, Mike Doherty, thank you so much. You bring so much heart and so much hilarity to the stage this summer. And I'm asking everybody to trust me when I say that this is a wild, wild ride. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Connie.
The Producers runs through June 29th, and it's a laugh-out-loud, fall-out-of-your-seat experience. Grab your tickets now at pashakespeare.org or call the box office at 610-282-WILL. That's 610-282-9455. Well, that wraps up another episode of As You Mic It. We want to thank Chuck Gloman, Jarret Brown, and all the folks at the TV Film Department. We also want to remind you that we're going to be doing a live recording of As You Mic It on Saturday, June 28th. So if you want to be a part of the audience for our live recording, come to the Labuda and be a part of the fun. For Connie, Kim, and all of us here at PSF, thanks for enjoying this episode of As You Mic It, and we'll see you at Labuda.
Thank you for listening to As You Mic It, a Pennsylvania Shakespeare Festival presentation recorded on the beautiful campus of DeSales University. Our music is by Cedric Lamar, with hosts Jason King-Jones, Kim Carson, and Connie Behringer. For more information on our summer theater series, giving opportunities, tickets, and more, visit pashakespeare.org. Be sure to like, subscribe, and we'll see you at Labuda.
Behind every standing ovation is a network of patrons who know that theater changes lives. With tickets funding only half the cost, PSF counts on contributions to produce world-class theater, cultivate new audiences, and nurture future generations of artists.
Give today at pashakespeare.org/support. Great theater is a collaboration both on stage and off.